2004 was one of the most interesting years I've ever had it as a journalist. I was about to turn 40. I was in the midst of coverage of the Bennett environmental controversy up in Baldoon, where a BC businessman was trying to use illegal forces to bring a soil recycling facility that was going to burn tar sands on the Bay Shore for oil production. It didn't work out. That guy eventually went to jail. John Bennett, where Brian Mulroney and Donald Trump's minions were involved in the project. That wasn't the biggest story that year. We're hearing in 2004 that the great Rodney Dangerfield was quite sick, and he went into a coma after surgery. By October of 2004, he passed away. Now, Rodney left a lot of people to mourn, colleagues, his wife, all different kinds of people. I was writing a movie column for an affiliate newspaper up home called the Northern Light. Now, when I wrote his obituary in that column, screenshots, my editor down there, Greg Bullock, a good friend of mine, said that Rodney's wife had sent a thank you message to the Northern Light thanking us for the column. And I'm saying to myself, oh, that's a good level of respect. Now, Rodney and I go way back, not personally, but professionally. Here's why. The reason I became so enamored of writing about entertainment was Rodney Dangerfield, who's probably the greatest Jewish comedians of all time. Him and Henny Youngman, Woody Allen, the one-liners, the comedic situations. By the time I got him in the 1980s, he became a movie star. He was in Caddyshack, he was in Easy Money, and he was in The Great Back to School, the most underrated comedy movie of all time. Now, Rodney, previous to that, in 1995, before he passed away, was getting a lot of recognition for his dramatic acting chops. He had appeared in a great movie, Natural Born Killers by Oliver Stone, and he was being considered for Best Supporting Actor nomination for his evil character he played in it. Now, according to an article in the LA Times in 1994, get this, though he's been mentioned as a possible Best Supporting Actor nominee for his work in Oliver Stone's Natural Born Killers, Rodney Dangerfield still gets no respect. When he recently applied for membership in the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences, he was turned down flat. Now, with major parts and at least 3 theatrical releases to his credit, like I just mentioned, Dangerfield meets the minimum criteria for consideration. But according to a letter signed by, of all people, the man in the monkey suit, Roddy McDowall, one of the better actors of all time, chair of the Actors Branch Executive Committee, he said he still lacks enough of the kind of roles to allow a performer to demonstrate the mastery of the craft. Now, according to Rodney, in the published report in the article, this is ridiculous, especially since thousands of Academy members haven't done any movies to speak of. Now, people still quote lines from Caddyshack, which I did in 1980, Back to School, which I starred in, which took him nearly $100 million. And Oliver Stone, who told me he loved my work, cast me as the father from hell, a guy who molests his daughter. Maybe the character, which I wrote myself, was so distasteful that it turned the Academy off. Certain people, Roddy McDowall included, sometimes let emotion overrule their intelligence. Now, Natural Born Killers was his first dramatic role, but he had previous comedic performances, including Ladybugs, which was a light hit in 1992. Now, he said, that's not me up there, he insists. Even a stand-up, I'm acting. But like Charlie Chaplin was forever the tramp, I'm locked to an image, the nobody. When I was performing at a New York club, a patron asked me for an autograph and more butter. Last year, AT&T dropped me from the commercial because I wasn't dignified enough. I can't seem to get out from under. Now, Dangerfield's name was submitted by actor Leonard Gaines, a 50-year-old friend who most recently appeared as the Ferrari dealer in Scent of a Woman with Al Pacino. The two used to hang out with Lenny Bruce at New York City's Hanson drugstore, and along with the other lunch bunch, regulars included Jerry Vale, Shecky Green, and Norm Crosby. They would eat at Beverly Hills Cafe Roma several times a week. Gaines, who asked veteran Academy member Michael Dante to co-sign the membership proposal card, was also baffled by the response. What is mastery of the craft supposed to mean, he asked. Rodney takes directions, he hits his marks, he delivers his lines, what else is there? Now, Rodney's big name is a big name in the business, Gaines says. I was doing the Academy a favor by bringing him in. Who knows? He may have done a benefit. It would have been good for Rodney, too. All the money he made hasn't helped his self-image. and he had free screenings at which he'd see all his friends. Though McDowall was unavailable for comment at the time, Academy Executive Director Bruce Davis says the organization of necessity is more selective these days. Demand for membership has been up ever since the studios started sending movie cassettes to Academy members in hope of Oscar consideration. There is a certain justice in the charge that not every Academy member has done work of note, Davis admits. But during the past 6 to 8 years, we've become more rigorous in our missions process. Twice a year, we have a pretty impressive group of actors making these decisions, and you don't make them easily. Once you accept people, you have them for life. In the end, it's a double-edged sword. We're usually accused of having standards too low. Now we're accused of having standards too high. Now, the Academy suggested it would be willing to reconsider Dangerfield's application once he had more credits under his belt, and a likely scenario, the comedian says. Academy membership isn't something I need, he said, who has written a book of jokes for HarperCollins and has 2 feature film scripts in which he hopes to star. And now that I've seen the way the Academy functions, even the Oscar doesn't mean as much. I know the reality. Who are these geniuses who are judging us? Now, didn't end there, by the way. Shortly after the story broke, this where it got pretty freaky. It was a follow-up again. The letter rejected him. However, at the time, he was also doing a lot of stuff on the internet. He was one of the first major stars to have his own website, and this came in, and people were complaining on his website. The public reaction on the website and in public, including us in the media, prompted the Academy to reverse itself and offer membership to Mr. Dangerfield, but Rodney declined. In a published report in the AP upon his death, he said, "They don't even apologize or nothing. They give me no respect at all. Pardon the pun, to comedy." Now, here's what I find completely and utterly and freakily bizarre. At Dangerfield's, his comedy location, he helped so many people, he broke so many artists through the years. It was just unbelievable. He was also the first person to win a Grammy for a rap performance. That was in 1981 when he took the Best Comedy Album for I Don't Get No Respect. Now, Easy Money was tremendous. Back to School, over $100 million as of this writing. Now, despite his successes, Dangerfield said he didn't like movies or TV series. There's too much waiting around, too much memorizing. I need that immediate feedback of people laughing. Now, allegedly, one of the big mentors of all time for Jim Carrey was Rodney Dangerfield. That alone should have got him in. But 1994 was a weird time. We were seeing more and more of the British influence. We had certain movies that should have won Best Picture award winning. I'm pointing at the Weinsteins where, Shakespeare in Love, Pet Simon, Private Ryan for Best Picture. Completely bizarre. So, but get this. This is another layer to the story. Years before Rodney had passed away, there was allegations he was contacting a Canadian alien cult called the Raelians to see if he could be cloned. He was taken partially serious. Now, when I was started getting the process of putting my movie and TV columns together for the Campbellton Tribune and Northern Light, there was a poster that was put up at my local Save-A-Zee in Jacket River, New Brunswick. It was a group in banners that was trying to lobby for the Raelians to get more people to sign up. So what goes around comes around. I saw that Raelians poster, right? It reminded me of Rodney Dangerfield when he died. I used that in my column. My boss approved it. I wrote the column. Rodney's wife contacted me, but years later, all these years later, I finally found out was just a rumor. Rodney Dangerfield was stopped from getting into the Academy by Roddy McDowall, who was considered, for his generation, the best supporting actor of all time. Dangerfield could have easily won an Oscar for that performance. He wasn't even nominated. So maybe he was mad his name wasn't Roddy Dangerfield. Maybe it was, I don't know. But Roddy McDowall had nothing to really say about that because I did a previous podcast. He was in a closet for a lot of years, which I have nothing matter with that. You can stay in the closet if you want. But he was He was procuring illegal tapes and copies of movies until the copyright group in the States got a hold of him, and he had to basically rat other people out. So my appreciation of Rodney Dangerfield through the years has gone up, while Roddy McDowall has gone down. Both are great actors, but at least with Rodney, what you see is what you get. He was willing to help people out. If Roddy McDowall would have asked it around how much Rodney had impacted, like behind the scenes, every major comedian he worked with went on to either greater success or a more refined success, even somebody like Jerry Seinfeld. But if you go on Wikipedia and you go on different entertainment sites, you read what he did. But I mean, music, online, movies, mentoring. I mean, and it all came down to one thing about this, and you probably know it's already. The turning point in his career came in 1967, where he was Dangerfield's agent or agent auditioned for an aging Ed Sullivan. Ed really enjoyed him, and that broke him in his career. He was on the bagel circuit for a number of years, and it was hard. It was his career. He ended up only averaging $300 a week before he became a major comedian. And $300 a week for back in the day to try to raise a family was nothing. But Rodney Dangerfield, God bless him, I know he's in heaven looking down, and he said, at least Jeffrey gives me some respect. Canada was always we saw Rodney as Canada's grandfather. And no Rodney Dangerfield, okay, no Kids in the Hall, no Schitt's Creek, no SCTV, no Canadian appreciation of comedy. It all starts with Rodney, because look at all the great Canadians that benefited from the people that Rodney counseled or gave support to. It's amazing. So Roddy McDowall and Rodney Dangerfield, I think they're both up in heaven, but I don't think they sit the same commissary, because why would I want to belong to a club that would have me as a member? Probably Groucho could join in that conversation quite a bit. So ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing here with our podcast channel, give us a like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget, you're only good as your last obituary. True story. Thanks for listening. Bye.